Hi everyone, welcome back to the homestead. So as you know, if you've been watching any of the videos, we planted strawberries this spring. We put in 40 plants. Come to find out, that's a little bit of an overkill. So these things spread like wildfire all summer. They did take off great, but it's time to do some pruning. We've got to cut these runners. I've got a bare patch over there we'll show you. We're going to do some transplanting and hopefully start a second patch over there, and thought maybe you'd like to come along. So this is our strawberry patch. We used to have real nice rows in between the mounds that we could walk in. It was very neat. What I'll do is I'll throw a few pictures up, let you guys see the planting process from when we put them in this spring till what they look like now. And like I said, we're going to do some pruning. We're going to get these thinned out, weeded, and then in another month or so when the weather really turns, we'll get them covered with straw and ready for winter. So here's the patch of ground we're going to move to transplant. The runners that we cut off, obviously not all of them, there's way too many, but we're going to pick out the best of the bunch. This patch is about 12 feet wide and it's about 40 feet long. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook up the discs to the tractor. We're going to come over here, we're going to disc this up, loosen it up, create our mounds, and go from there. All right, well, we've got these strawberry beds ready to plant. We're gonna do 4 rows. You can see I make the mounds. There's a bunch of rocks in there. We'll pick them out as we plant along. And we're gonna space them about 1 foot apart and we'll get in as many as we can. So that's the next step. So this is what we're talking about when we're thinning. So this is a runner plant. You can see this well-established root system. I did just dig that out and crump the dirt around it. I did disconnect it from the main plant. It came across this runner here, but as you can see, there's granddaughter and great-granddaughter plants coming off of that. Now these don't have as established root systems. You can see they hadn't grounded themselves yet. So we're just going to cut them off and probably discard them and just keep the main one right there. As we work down our rows here, we're going to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these. So we're going to try and just pick out the best 30 or 40, like that one there, and plant those over in our new section, and we'll have a whole new patch for next spring. All right, we've got 1 row done, 1 row cleared. That's what the open aisle looks like. Those are the ones we've got yet to do. We've got a whole bucket right there of real nice root strawberries we're going to go replant. And then we've got a lot of just runners that we tore off and we're going to get rid of because we have nothing to do with. But that's the first row done. We're going to go put them in the ground, see where we stand over there, and then we'll continue to work down. Spread them out best you can. I just dig a hole with my hand, set them in there, fill it around. Strawberries are almost like a weed. So there ain't no real delicate stuff that has to be done here. As long as you got that root system down in the ground, they should do okay. And with the way that this plant spreads so much, if you were to lose 50% of your crop, with your runners you'll recover that in a year or less. So you'd be good to go. But that's basically how I do it, and we're going to work our way down here. So again, just going to make a small hole with my hand in my mounds that I've prepared. I'm going to take my strawberry, I'm going to spread out my, I think you can see it there, spread out my root system as best I can in there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cover up around it. Pack it down good. And there we go. So our battery died, but we ran the sprinkler for about 45 minutes or so after we got all 4 rows in. It turned out we planted about 125 plants. So I'm sure they won't all take. Time will tell. We'll see, and we'll keep you updated. I'll go over and show you what our original plants look like. So I ended up getting 2 rows cleared out. It took longer than I had anticipated it was going to. There was quite a bit of runners in there. There was a lot of trimming, but you can see the before and after. This is what the work we've done versus what's left to be done. We kind of started this row here, but we'll finish this up over the next day or two. We're gonna had enough kneeling down for today, so I'm gonna turn my focus to getting these acorns or not acorn squash, butternut squash and spaghetti squash that we've got ready to be picked. I'm gonna get them picked, get them down in our basement in a cool spot, dark spot, and they will last us the entirety of the winter. So really got some nice butternut squash this year. Last year we grew them, they didn't really turn out so well. So I'm real happy this year. It turned out nice and we got a lot of them. Likewise with these spaghetti squash, we did real well with these last year. I actually planted a bunch less this year because we had more than we know what to do with last year. So, but we did, as you can see, we got a bunch of them. So we're going to store these in the same dark, cool spot. These two will last most of the winter. They're excellent. You see this guy here? That is a squash bug. We had a big problem with them earlier in the season. They took out several of our squash plants and they will literally take them out overnight. But that's what they are. I'm going to spend some time this winter researching how to keep these guys under control a little better. But yeah, that's what we got. There he is. I picked him up. They will do a ton of damage to a garden. Some of the sprays that I did use, and I don't like to use a lot of them, did work fairly good. but it just got to a point where I couldn't really keep up with it. Like I said, we did lose 3 or 4 squash plants and almost overnight. So that's what they look like. You see these guys in your garden, you got to get rid of them. So we got a tractor bucket full of squash. I didn't count them, but probably 20 or so spaghetti squash, and at least that of the butternut. Again, more than enough for us for the winter. Probably give some away also. But we're going to take them, put them in the basement, and I'll show you where we keep them down there. So I brought in the squashes, added them to our shelving unit with a few of our canned goods here. But it filled up the bottom 4 shelves and most of the top one. It's nice and cool in the basement, mostly dark. Good spot to store them for the winter. So we're getting down towards the end here for this summer's garden, harvest-wise. Pumpkins are harvested, squash is all done. Corn's done, beans are done, watermelons are all but done. We've got a few small ones over there that we've got to pick yet, but nothing too big there. What we do have is a ton of peppers yet. As you can see, there is lots of peppers to harvest. We'll probably be doing that in the next week or so. The weather forecast is still pretty nice here going forward, so nothing we've got to rush and do, but by my estimates, we got to have another 50-60 pounds of peppers that need to get picked. Tomatoes are just about done. They're all splitting on the vine. There's not much left there. And then it'll be a wrap for the season. All right, so we finished trimming up our strawberry runners and getting rid of the mess that we had. Just a couple days later from when I filmed this before. As you can see, we've got nice rows in between there now. And that's how they'll look until winter when we cover them up with the straw. Thanks for watching our video. If you like what we're doing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with friends and family and whoever you think might like this type of stuff. Catch you on the next one.